What's up, Angel City? It's your girl Panda here, bringing you another episode of Angel City Chicks. Finally, it's we are just awful right now in trying to get something consistent on the books. Now, hopefully, our lives will calm down and today. Oh, and that voice you heard, because she hasn't been properly introduced yet, was as I lovingly am calling her today. Oh wait, you look less Casper the Friendly Ghost now, so that's
I
good.
closed the blinds because the lighting. I was so pale. I saw a thing the other day, and hi everybody, it's me, Nina.
Oh yeah, in case you guys
Welcome
didn't know.
to another episode of Angel City Chicks. This is episode 116. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can keep up with all of our chaos. We are at Angel City Chicks on all of the socials. And as usual, the show is not the same without you. Get at us in the comments. Let us know your thoughts and feelings. And this one is one for the comments. But before we get into that, yeah, I saw a thing on Instagram the other day. I felt very targeted by it. And it's because it says, why is every foundation makeup shade I get some sort of like very pale, transparent white, sickly, unhealthy? And I'm like, that's me.
You are 1800s like white English kid who's come down with dysentery and the plague and needs to be rehydrated. That's your shade of makeup, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So much so that I had to shut the blind so I could stop. Like,
I know you were
the
just
afternoon sun was too much for my pale skin.
You were just a white face. You were turning into Voldemort. It was great. She's losing her nose in the light. Oh no. Anyway, no, it's good. It's good. It's good to be back. Sorry we missed last week. We actually, in our thoughts, we were like, we don't want to do a whole episode on such a tragic loss that we suffered to Gotham at home. Like, that's no fun. Like, you know what? We're going to go to Orlando. We're going to, kick some butt. And so then we can kind of book in the pod, like we can have one good and then maybe end it on a high note. And it won't be such like a sobering podcast to
How'd
get
that work
through.
out for us?
And apparently that did not. Spoiler alert, that did not work out so well for us,
No.
as you're going to find out as we go through our game recaps here in just a moment. In addition to that, we are also going to talk about our upcoming match, which will be tomorrow. It's an away game, so don't worry. If you don't have tickets to a home Angel City game for tomorrow night, then that is a good thing because you are not wrong. And then we're also going to, talk about some other little things here and there, but I don't know. What do you think, Nina? Should we start this podcast off, with the biggest kind of bit of controversy and get your thoughts specifically? I would love to hear.
Every show, I have this as a ticker at the bottom of our page for a little bit when we start off, and it says, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Well, I think maybe someone's agent has been watching Angel City Chicks for too long because she let Angel City know in their comments exactly how she's feeling. And we're talking about this right here. Before our last game at Orlando, Denise White gets into Angel City's comments on our starting 11 post, and she says, Kristen Press needs to be starting. How do you have a 2-time World Cup champion and Olympian and not start her? It'd be different if she was still hurt, but she's completely healthy. You have a Ferrari in the garage, but not willing to take it out. Doesn't make sense. Come on, Angel City. Do better, coach.
Ooh, hello. Shots fired. She's saying basically what I'd say a big portion of the fan base out there for Angel City is saying. We've been hearing it now for a while, especially this season. I think we gave a little grace last season as she kind of eased into the lineup. And then I think they expected her to probably be somewhat of a regular starter, or at least get those good chunk of 30 minutes or so on the back end of a game as a good sub. And we're just not seeing that, are we?
We are not. She's played 48 minutes all as a sub this season. And turns out after putting something like that in a public forum, she didn't play last game. So, it doesn't usually go over well when you create drama in the locker room. And I'm sorry, I don't know what you want us to do. Like, Emsley doesn't play the same position as her. Riley Tiernan is kicking butt. You really want me to sit Riley Tiernan, who is now tied in 4th place for Golden Boot, for Kristen Press? I know she does a good job. I'm not denying that. But Kristen Press is 38, pushing 40. This is probably her last season. I think Angel City has done a good job of standing by her as she rehabs. We need a little grace from Mama Agency over there. And I just think this is not what you do. You do not go on game day and post this in the comments. And I have two really big thoughts come to mind. Did Kristen Press know? I tend to think this was not planned because there is a grammatical error. There is a comma missing. Come on, Angel City, comma, do better coach would have been the appropriate there. But not only that, so that's why it's not planned, in my opinion. That's why it's a heat of the moment thing. Because
do you think it was just reactionary, like a guttural type of reaction to things? Like she was sitting there probably like you or I have on a night with like a glass of 2 of wine in, and all of a sudden getting a little, frisky with the comments.
Yeah,
probably.
I think that's exactly what it is. But then I think about it, and, usually logic prevails. So I am Denise White in this situation, and I am the one who is probably going to get emotional and post something in the comment section. But then you, my best friend Panda, you call me and you go, Nina, you can't post that. And I pull it.
Yeah. I usually give you a moment, get it out. It's fine. And then we move on. But, allow yourself to reflect on it. That's fine, but not allow you to hit post. And maybe she didn't have anybody there. But you know what? It doesn't matter. It's out there. It's been said. And we did get a response from Sam Lady, and I'm going to read that to you. He did admit that he made a mistake not subbing Kristen Press in late in the match. And he also said, my reflection was probably, made a mistake not getting her on the field, especially where the game was going. And what we really lacked in those last 20 minutes was a little bit of calmness, a little bit of leadership. And I think on reflection, Kristen would have brought that. I've spoken to her, and my reflection was, she would have helped us. And I think he said something to the effect that, he's hoping, to get some more playing time when it comes to the matchup against the Spirit. It said he would like to see Press more involved in that match. And as the season goes on, the plan is to get her on the field as much as we can. Hopefully we can do that against the Spirit. So shots were fired, and he did have a rebuttal. He did respond to
professional response.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Whether or not she said it in the most professional way is whatever. It doesn't matter. It was said. It's out there, and it did force him to address it. And I think that's something that a lot of people have kind of wanted and needed for a while, because no one's been talking about it. You've just been hearing the fans clamoring for Press. Why isn't Press starting? And no one's addressing it. So it's kind of the first time that it's actually been addressed. And as much as, I would have probably held you back from hitting post, I don't know that it was necessarily a bad thing in the grand scheme of things, because right now I don't see any negative fallout.
I do, though. I'm sorry.
I don't.
How can you walk into a locker room with your teammates after that and you're like, okay, it gives all the vibes of Zlatan, I'm a Ferrari amongst Fiats.
Well, that is all I
can think about. That is all I can think about. So how do you then go into the locker room with your teammates and look them in the eye and be like, yeah, I'm here for the team. Okay, but your agent doesn't care.
Press did. Well, your agent's not there for the rest of the team. Their agent's there for Press and to get her playing time and to be in her team. Who knows? Like
Kristen, I need an advocate. Her name is her own advocate.
Apparently, she does need an advocate. She's not getting playing time or starting.
Well, maybe she should have shown up for the fans.
And now it's being addressed that she, will get more playing time. And he said he made a mistake. So
it makes me not want to play her. It makes me want her to go bye-bye.
But it's not her fault.
Did she get the comment pulled? If I'm Kristen Press, I'm calling my agent and I'm saying, pull that. Don't post that.
What if she's like,
and I'm apologizing.
What if she says no? I mean, it's already out there. What's it look like if she pulls it? Then that's even worse at this point.
It looks like Kristen Press didn't know. And then Kristen Press can say, well, I appreciate my agent standing up for me.
You will take any opportunity to throw some hate and shade in that direction, will you not?
Yeah.
And I am over here thinking, you know what? Sometimes you stir the pot and some good stuff comes to the top. And here's where we're at.
Okay, I am on an active journey to stir the pot less.
Well, that's why I'm very shocked that you don't support this. And I think if it would be any other player, you'd be okay with it. But it's Kristen Press, and we all know how you feel about Kristen Press. So,
okay, you might be right, but whatever. And
all I know is
I'm
if
with
she
Laugh.
starts playing more and Angel City starts winning, then we'll see what happens. So
I'm going to agree with our friend Laugh on this one. I'd be more concerned if the comment section is what is dictating roster moves.
Well, it clearly hasn't been, because people have been saying the same thing for a long time. For the whole season, people have been saying in the comments, where's Press, where's Press, where's Press? And nothing has changed. Nobody has done anything, addressed it or anything. It took her agent coming in there. And it wasn't even her agent. The comment from her agent would have gone unnoticed. But it was brought up by who was it that I sent you the
it got picked up in the news. You're right.
Yeah, it got picked up by Pro Soccer Wise or USA Today. So her comment, no one knew anything
who tipped
about
them off.
I don't know. Who knows?
I'm just saying.
All I know is the last time you made an assumption about something, you almost got us canceled by Carl the Flamingo. So I think we should probably leave our assumptions to ourselves, Nina.
Okay, fair enough. You know what's not an assumption, though? The results of these last two games, which we unfortunately have to talk about.
Yeah, that is true. We've been trying to, throw a little smoke over here. Maybe you won't notice the fire or dumpster fire over here. But we do have to talk about it. We do have to get through these matches, and they're going to be brief. We're not going to sit there and beat a dead horse and just talk about that loss, because if you were at the game, the home game that we had against Gotham, then you don't need to relive that. That just wasn't fun, was it?
No, not at all. Unfortunately, the first loss of 2025, falling 0-4 against Gotham at home. I had predicted a shutout. I thought we were going to come in there and it was going to be 3-0. We got this. And not only was it not that, but we saw an own goal, and an own goal plays out again in the game against Orlando. But it's just no fun to lose. And when we look at the stats from this game, 0-4 with goals in the 18th, 75th, 67th, and 84th for Gotham, 0 for us. But what's most disappointing in this game is the number of shots on target. Panda, how many shots on target did Angel City have?
10.
No, on target.
10 total shots with 0 on target. Sorry. Oh, I told you.
Yeah.
But yeah, 0 on target. 0 big chances created. And well, that means 0 big chances missed too. Woo! Our accurate passes too. Not great. 67%.
Horrible.
That's terrible. Let's talk about Gotham real quick and why they were dominant in this match. Talk about their statistics on that same side.
They had 60% possession. They took 12 shots, 4 on target, had 3 big chances. They really pushed it with 81% pass accuracy. They did all the things right, and it really felt horrible to be there for this game, because I felt like this was going to be our opportunity to come back and to really show Gotham and give them what we got. And unfortunately, it stood on its head.
Yeah, unfortunately is correct. We were very aggressive. We committed 17 fouls to their 12. So we certainly were putting ourselves out there, but we just weren't doing anything at all whatsoever with the ball. It just, is a bit of an uninspiring matchup. But I think a big part of this was we didn't have Alyssa Thompson. And I think that really says a lot about her impact in the offensive game and how much she is such an integral part of our attacking game, because we just looked flat. We looked, like I said, we looked like there was no inspiration happening in the offensive end at all. And you can tell that from the stats alone. And then it just, like you said, it just kind of fell apart. I think that own goal kind of deflated any little bit of momentum that they might have had in that second half thinking, okay, well, if we could at least get a goal, tie it up, maybe we can walk away, feeling good about this game. But, you get an own goal in that situation, and now that's doubles their lead, 2-0. And it's like, okay. And then it's almost like the wheels just kind of come off, and you're just like, okay, we got to stop the bleeding. And the only thing that stopped the bleeding was when time was called.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we did not win the next game either against Orlando, but a little bit of a different story there. So one thing I want to point out is we talked about this whole thing with the lineup and everything like that. And Riley Tiernan, 18 years old. I don't know if she knows about this or what it is. She knows that people are putting in the chat that she should be the one not starting, that Kristen Press should be starting for her or Emsley. Her name's getting tossed about. She comes out in this match and she scores in the 9th minute, which I love for her. So I don't know if she knew about it and was able to shake it. I don't know if she didn't know, but I love that message. So she's able to score in the 9th minute against Orlando. And then Katie Zalem comes in the 44th minute, and we are up 2-0 at the half. Unfortunately, we forget we're playing Marta and Banda. They remembered who they were, and they came out and scored in the 71st and 76th minutes. And then another really disappointing own goal, and that ends up being the go-ahead goal. Vignola, oh my God, I love her so much, and I feel so bad. It hurts so much because this is also in the 90th plus 3. This is in stoppage time. Just absolute heartbreak.
I wish I could remember the stat that they showed during the game, but it was something about like the amount of games or goals that Angel City gives up between like the 61st and the 75th minute. And of course, Marta scores in the 71st. Like, we're just sitting here holding our breath. Okay, like, let's get to that witching hour that we seem to just be kind of like, losing it or whatever, which clearly that's when we need to maybe start making those subs because, something's getting lost in those moments. And yeah, sure enough, Marta comes on and scores in that 71st minute. And yeah, this game, I don't even know how to feel about it. I mean, we started off so good. And I think one thing that really did that did kind of, I think, attribute to the wheels falling off was that big head injury by Alana Kennedy. Oh my gosh. If you're watching the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was right after the half when she got elbowed in the head, and they called immediately for the trainers to come over because they knew it was a head injury. Shout out to Orlando fans for booing during that. I was like, whoa, like, let's see what's going on. And then before you know it, you see her eye swell up like a blue and purple, like little golf ball right there in her eye. Oh, I keep looking on Instagram trying to find pictures of that out there because I would love to see what kind of shiner she showed up with. But it definitely was open too a little bit because there was blood on the towel. Her eye was swollen shut. I think she would have loved to have stayed in if she could have, but I don't think you can't see with one eye, unfortunately. And all that happened in, let me see again, the minute that it happened was, let me look back here, 57th minute when they brought in Madison Hammond, and then a little less than 15 minutes later, that's when Marta scored. And again, I think Alana Kennedy was really holding it down in the midfield, doing a phenomenal job, to be honest. And I don't know, that just disrupted a lot of the chemistry that they had, I think. And I don't know, this team is so young, and as they said, lacking a little bit of veteran leadership out there in those moments when the wheels do start to kind of fall off of what's going on, and being able to like hold it together and have a little bit of maturity to kind of weather the storm. And just didn't happen for him. And it was just so unfortunate to see because there was so much hope and so much excitement in the beginning of this game. Like, oh my gosh, we're up 2-0. Riley Tiernan was having a moment. I mean, they were talking about her, that Jersey girl in her coming out, being just real, like kind of a fierce, kind of gritty type of player out there. And you love to see that. You like to see that fight. And she was phenomenal for them. I mean, she got that yellow card in the first half as well, from part of that and everything. But yeah, it was really unfortunate to see them kind of collapse like that after the 71st minute, really. I mean, because 5 minutes later is when Banda scored, and then you could tell they just really kind of were in their heads at that point. And, it's nothing for that stupid own goal to happen. It just, Yeah,
Just
you hate
puts it
that.
over the edge. Now, I will say I have never seen stats that lend more to a tie game. Like when we look at these stat lines, possession 54-46, total shots 13-10, shots on target 5-5. Like big chances missed 2-1, accurate passes 81-77, fouls committed 17-16, offsides 1-0. Like the stat lines are so evenly split aside from the big chances, which I think were the Marta Bonda goals, really, where they had a few extras and we had to make a few extra saves. A lot of this is very, very equal. And what does it say that our team, despite an own goal, was competing with and tying, Orlando Pride?
Right. It's not like
That's
we,
huge.
unraveled ourselves against, a lesser team. We didn't go out there and in collapse to, the Chicago Stars or the
Mhm.
Utah Royal who are sitting at the bottom of the table right now. Like we had a moment that a better team like Orlando Pride is going to take advantage of. They do. They have that veteran leadership out there in Marta, who was probably, she found a way to kind of get everybody's head in the game. And all it took was 25 minutes, 20,
Yeah.
22 minutes for them to score 3 goals. And one of them doesn't really count. Let's be real. Like, the own goal, take that out of the mix. And like you said, we end this game tied with a team that's, second on the table. I mean, this is not a team to sneeze at. And so as much as this loss hurts, I think it's because we know we could have won and we probably should have, and that would have been a big win. And it's unfortunate because I think that was the they could have used that kind of confidence boost coming off of such a brutal home loss against Gotham. That was just a completely, just it was not a good one. So
Yeah.
this one was a good one. This one was a great game up and through 70 minutes. And if Alana Kennedy doesn't get hurt, does that change this game? Does this change the way they go? It very much could have. Nothing against Madison Hammond, but the game she was playing, Alana Kennedy, the way she was playing was working. And whatever Hammond did when she came in, it was exploited as part of everything else in that. And she was not really, a factor or threat and all that. So
Yeah, and unfortunately, it affects the standings. And when we look at the standings, now we're dropped down to that ninth place position. Not a place I love for us to be, and especially not going up against Washington Spirit, who are currently ranked third. Now, that said, our head-to-head against the Spirit, which is going to be this Friday, that's tomorrow, because Panda, today is Thursday. Panda, today is Thursday. Tomorrow, Friday, 5 p.m. on Amazon Prime, we are away at Washington Spirit. Our head-to-head, Washington Spirit have won 4. We've won 2. There's never been a draw. So this will be an interesting one. And, I'm not as nervous because I don't feel like this is the same Washington Spirit that we've faced before in our head-to-head. I think this is a Washington Spirit that is very beatable.
I mean, definitely. I mean, one thing that they're going to be gunning for is, well, they've won 4 straight against us, and they can tie their longest winning streak against a single opponent, which was 5 versus Gotham. While Seattle's only won 5 straight over Angel City before. So they've got that looming in the back of their head. But you know what? On Saturday, they did lose 3-0 to Gotham. So they had a similar showing against Gotham, that we did. And the thing is, they haven't lost consecutive regular season matches since the start of 2024. So, they've usually followed big losses with a win in their next match. So we have to be ready for that. That has to be something in the back of Angel City's heads as well. And one thing, look for Angel City to score. I mean, within the first 15 minutes of each of its 3 away matches this season, including the Riley Tiernan goal we just talked about, they scored early. And this is the 5th time in NWSL history a team has scored in the first 15 minutes of 3 straight regular season road games, something no team has done in 4 straight away from home. So both teams are going to be looking to do things that maybe are something that hasn't been done before. So I look for a really good match. I mean, Angel City sitting there with 8 points. Washington Spirit sitting there with 12. So, not too far off, some I think it's going to be a competitive match. Do you have any thoughts on it
I
yourself?
definitely agree. The big thing is going to be with a 5 p.m. kick for those of us in California. You got to leave work early. You can't get off at 5 because you will miss Riley Tiernan's goal.
Right. If anything has taught us anything about the first 15 minutes, then you've got to be home by 5:14. If you want to see at least by the 15th minute. But yeah, no, and then it's Friday. We all know who traffic is around here in LA. It's terrible on Fridays. So you know what? Maybe it's we start summer Fridays early, leave half day, you know? I'm off tomorrow, so I'm
I'm off
excited.
tomorrow.
I get to
Yeah.
watch it. And yeah.
I'm off for your marathon.
Oh yes, you know what I've been telling everybody at work? I really told everyone at work I think I need to find better friends that will stop me from signing up for stupid things like this. Because
What
is happening? Why'd you let me do this? This is the third time in 6 months that you've allowed me to run a full marathon.
I
Why?
love our marathon trips. I cannot stress enough how beautiful it is to travel for somebody else to run a marathon. Hear me out, everyone. This is truly the perfect vacation. We go away usually to a nicer city with like good, nice flat grounds, usually a little scenic. It's a major city, so it's easy to fly to, find a good hotel, things like that. We get there. We have usually a carb heavy early dinner, around like 4 or 5 o'clock, and we get some like good food in us. Then we go home and we go to bed.
Yes, you have to be very quiet so I can sleep.
Then the next morning, they're gone and you get the whole place to yourself. You can have a relaxing coffee, you can unwind. And then around 10 a.m., you usually take a casual stroll and you stand there and you sip your coffee outside and you wait for them to finish their little run thing. After that, they want to go have food. So you go and you have lunch, you get like margaritas and chips and salsa. And then you take a nap. Like, the perfect vacation.
You get lots of food, you get lots of naps, you're
in a comfy hotel because usually they want a nice bed for the night before. Everything is usually kind of walkable or with good public transportation because there's a marathon. Everyone's all happy. 10 out of 10.
Well, I'm glad you are enjoying my marathon, extravaganzas, and I'm excited you're going to be there with me this weekend. So on Sunday, I'm going to go down to Newport Beach and run the OC marathon. So the weather might not be great, but the view is going to be beautiful, and I'm excited. Chris Lafferty, thank you for your support. You know how hard this is. You've done it a couple times. Yeah, why don't you tell me to stop doing this? You know how hard it is for real. Anyways, yes, I will show you the medal the next time, and yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. But either way, it's going to be a good time. But having said all that, yes, I'm off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday because of that, so I can get ready for all of that because we're going to go down there and spend the night because it's just a lot easier when you have to. You know how early this one starts, Nina?
No.
Do you know how early you have to have us at the start line?
I'm not driving you. Christian is.
Oh no, I think it's you because he didn't say for sure he was going to be there. I don't know.
Pretty sure he did. Well, all I know
the race
is it starts at Passion Island, and that's a beautiful mall.
The race starts at 5:30.
So can't you guys just like catch an Uber?
Wow, this is a podcast that I can't curse on, okay? Or I would. You go right back to sleep, Nina. You go right back to sleep.
No, but then I'll be awake and that ruins. I guess I have a nap coming. So
yeah. And with it starting at 5:30, that means I'll be done by like 9:30, 10. And so, yeah. I don't disagree.
Fine. I will drive you to the start line and then I will pick up coffee for Christian and I, and then we will get ourselves ready and head over to watch you run.
And if you could try to get a late checkout for us, that'd be great. Thanks.
Oh, we'll get a late checkout this time.
Okay, perfect. I love that. So
no worries.
All right. Anyways, enough of our little side tangent about that. That was all just to kind of talk about why I'm off on Friday and Monday. But yes, catch the game tomorrow, 5 o'clock Pacific time. They'll be up in Washington, and hopefully it'll be a good matchup, good bounce back matchup for these ladies. They deserve it. They've really, they've had a fun season. We can't got to take the good with the bad. That's just how it is. And we've been very fortunate to start the season off how we are. We know we have good things coming. Excited about, the summer and when we bring in a new coach to see how and if he shakes things up or has a different vision for this team. Excited to see if Kristen Press, if she does get some more playing time tomorrow and if she's ready to make the most of it and prove why she deserves to be out there. That's what I want to see. So excited about that. Excited about the game. And that's where I'm at.
And with that, let's listen to our captain, Sarah Gordon. She says there is some excitement to get into the next game after our last 2 results. Sometimes that's not the case after losing 1 or 2 games in a row, but that is the case here right now.
So some motivation coming from Angel City and wanting to really avenge some of these, one loss that was bad and one loss that just shouldn't have been the case. So, you know what? Get out there and just be a goldfish. Let's erase the memory of these last 2 games because you know what? It doesn't matter. We're moving forward, and all we can do is go ahead and win the next game. So hopefully they can do that. And that's all I have. What do you have, Nina? Anything else?
No. Let's
all right, guys and gals and Chris Lafferty. We're ready. Captain Beast Mode will have us ready, as he says in the chat. No doubt Sarah Gordon will be leading that charge. Tune in tomorrow, 5 p.m. And then join us back here next week as we chat about it. Nina, are you leaving? Are you going somewhere?
Yeah. I'm in Minneapolis next week.
Okay. So we're going to figure out next week's pod. I don't know. I work since I'm off Monday. I work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and she's going to be on Central Time. So you know what? I don't know. Just
turn
on your notifications. What?
So where's Minneapolis?
Where?
I said, where's Minneapolis?
In Minnesota? Midwest?
I know that, but I thought that was East Coast.
What? Have you seen a map, Nina? It's more west than Indiana.
Is it really?
All right. After this, we're going to have a little bit of a geography lesson offline. We will talk, but either way,
I'm just getting so much hate in the chat now. Thank you, boys.
Yes. No, I do. I love this a lot. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. Next up, Maxiopolis. I love that instead of Minneapolis.
I love it.
It's fantastic and deserves to be up there. All right, guys, we got to go. We're going to hop off here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will see you or hear from us soon enough. And that's all I got. Nina?
Let's do it.